Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Today is my very first declutter video, so please bear with me because I haven't a clue what I'm at, but I am decluttering my foundations here. I've got drugstore, high-end. These are supposed to be concealers and then like primers and stuff, but everything's kind of like thrown in here like uncomfortably and like in a mess, not organized. So I'm going to take everything out and going to go through everything one by one to see what we're going to keep, and whatever I'm not keeping I'm going to throw out because it is foundation and it'll be gone off, etc. So let's get everything out of the drawers first. So I actually was talking through this part, but now I'm doing a voiceover because the washing machine was on the background and it was making a terrible racket. So that's why I'm doing a voiceover this part. Anyway, I want to put my foundations all back in. So I'm going to start off with my drugstore foundations, and the first one we have here is the LA Girl. This is the Pro Matte Foundation, and I actually don't really know how I feel about this foundation. I feel like I used it once or twice and liked it, so I'm going to put it back into my collection in order for me to kind of like use it more and kind of like get a bit of use out of it and try it and actually see how I do feel about it. Next up I have the Fit Me. These are the Maybelline Fit Me foundations. Absolutely love them. I have two shades, so I have 210 and 220. These are both kind of a little bit empty. Also, they've been in my collection for a very long time, so I'm going to throw these out. Love this foundation, but I'm going to repurchase it in the future, like maybe next year or something, because I haven't really worn it that much lately and it's just kind of sitting there. Now this foundation I am keeping. It's new enough to my collection. It's the Bourjois Healthy Mix. I tried it for the first time there recently and I adore it. I'm going to keep the Lasting Finish foundation. This is the breathable one from Rimmel. I really like this. It comes with a doe foot wand. I found this is a really good kind of light coverage foundation, but something that lasts long, and also it doesn't feel too heavy or thick on my skin. I have a first impressions of this and any other foundations I do have first impressions on. I'll leave links to them in the description below. You guys know how obsessed I was with the L'Oreal Infallible 24-hour foundation. I absolutely adore it, but this is not in my shade. It's in 235 and I'm 240 or 140 I am. So it's not the right shade for me, and also I kind of used this all up. There's only a teeny bit left in it, so why hang on to a little bit that's not really your shade? Let's get rid of it. L'Oreal True Match Holy Grail foundation for me. I wouldn't normally throw these out, but these are in like the Irish packaging. I actually buy them off the a US website because they're cheaper on it, so God knows how long they're in here and they need to go. LA Girl Pro Coverage. I raved about this for so long. I have the tiniest amount left in it, so I'm going to keep it and just like use up the little bit that's left in it, and I'm going to repurchase this again in the new year because it's just bomb.com. If you're looking for a super full coverage foundation that is very long lasting, then look no further. The Maybelline Superstay 24-hour foundation. This is just bomb.com. I love it. I will always have this in my collection, and it's going right back in now because it's just so amazing. I'm going to keep the Essence Fresh and Fit Awake foundation. This is a really nice one. It gives you like a healthy glow. It's lovely to wear in the summer. It's really light and fresh on your skin and really inexpensive. I honestly don't know why I've kept this Body Shop foundation for so long, because it does nothing to my skin. It's not the right colour and I never enjoyed it. Where the Essence one there was a light coverage, this is a light coverage that just like fades off your face, and I just don't like it, so it's going in the bin. The Wet n Wild Coverall foundation. This is a lovely one. It costs like $2.50. I'm going to keep one of them, not both. So I think I'm going to keep the one on the right because it's more kind of yellowy based or kind of more neutral and it would suit my skin better. So I'm going to try out the other one because I actually think the other one's been in there a lot longer. This is one of the most amazing foundations ever. This is the CoverGirl Outlast Stay Fabulous. It is unbelievable on my skin. I adore it, so it's going right back into my collection. I actually need to repurchase it because I think I've very little left. I know so many people loved the Neutrogena Healthy Skin Foundation. I never really got on with it. I thought it was too watery, it faded off my skin, so I'm going to bin this. It's been there a while as well. Other foundations I'm going to get rid of are the Match Perfect foundation from Rimmel. Never really liked these. Couldn't get my colour. That was the issue I think I had with them. And they've been sitting there for way longer than I'd like to tell you. So they're going in the bin. This is my second purchase of this Catrice HD Liquid Coverage Foundation. I adore it. It's so inexpensive. And I just love everything about this foundation on my skin. So I have to keep this. This is not like my favorite foundation ever. It's the Infallible Stick Foundation, but it's really, really great if you're like in a pinch, you're rushing out the door, so I'm putting it back in. The Makeup Revolution Stick Foundation is one I haven't really given too much kind of like thought to since I did my first impressions on it. So I'm going to keep it for now just to see, you know, can I make it work for my skin? And if not, then I'll just declutter it. Oh, one of the most incredible foundations ever. This is the Lasting Finish 25 Hour from Rimmel. Love it. They discontinued my shade in 203 and I have to bin this because it smells so bad. I just opened it up and smelt it and I was like, oh no, you gotta go. I have no idea how I feel about this e.l.f. foundation. I don't recall wearing it. I don't know what it was like on my skin. So I'm definitely going to give it another go and put it back into my collection and see how I get on with it. Because, like I said, I have no recollection of how I felt about this foundation. I have some drugstore foundations in my makeup bag, which I'll get in a minute. But I'm going to go on to my high-end foundations, which I'm putting in here. First one for the chop is the Kat Von D Lock-It Foundation. I actually really enjoyed this foundation, but it broke on me. It's in such old packaging as well, because I used to have to try and like pull it out of the bottle to try and get any of it out because the stopper got clogged or something. So the foundation, I didn't really get that much use out of it, but from what I did use of it, I did like it. But unfortunately I don't support the brand anymore, so this is going in the bin. I love my Inglot HD foundation. This is kind of a newer, like a new bottle for me, so I will be holding on to it. I still have a little bit left, so I'm going to use that up. Brilliant full coverage foundation, looks amazing on camera as well. Have to keep my Marc Jacobs Remarkable. I use this to thicken up the foundations. Like if I'm using a light coverage foundation, I want like a tiny bit more coverage, really long lasting. You can take a heavy hand with this, so just play lightly. I've tried to declutter the Huda Beauty foundation a million times, but I am still certain that there's a foundation out there that I can mix with this to make this work on my skin because everybody loves it. It never works for me and I still haven't found something to mix it in with, but I'm not giving up hope just yet. Another foundation that I did get to work for my skin is the Armani Luminous Silk Foundation. I hated this for the longest time ever and then got it to work great for me. So I am hanging on to this because it just looks beautiful on like lighter coverage days. And then its less luminous sister, this is the Power Fabric from Armani as well, and I'll definitely be keeping this. I actually prefer this a little bit more than the Luminous Silk, and the Power Fabric lasts a bit longer on my skin. It's just beautiful. So if you're really oily like me and you want a long lasting foundation and something that is really good for matching your skin tone, then the EX1 foundation is your go-to, man. I'm going to put this back in my collection. I have like 4 of them. This is 6.0. I have 7.0 as well that I mix, and they're my favorite foundations. I just adore them. The recent favorite to me, and this is the Hello Happy foundation from Benefit. I have a few different shades depending on the time of the year because I'm a little bit paler in the winter months, but this is an amazing foundation. Quite watery, so it's really lightweight on the skin, but it is super full coverage, and on my oily skin it lasts a long time. You guys know that the Estee Lauder Double Wear is a Holy Grail foundation for me, so that'll be going back into my collection. Do you know what? I've never done a wear test on this foundation, so if that is something you want to see in a future video, do let me know. I'll be keeping the Clinique Beyond Perfecting foundation. I do love this. It has a doe foot wand. It's a 2-in-1 foundation. It just looks insanely beautiful on my skin, so that's going back in. Adidas Stay All Day foundation. I actually want to declutter this because I just don't wear it anymore, and I can't remember if I even liked it, so it's going in the bin. Now these are foundations that were in my makeup bag. The Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define foundations. Oh my god, obsessed with these. Just cannot stress how amazing they are. So they're going straight into my collection. They've actually never been in it before, so welcome to the gang, lads. These were also in my foundation bag. These are the Wet n Wild foundations. Oh my god, you guys know how obsessed I am with them. Hello, I have 3 shades. This is the Photo Focus foundation. Long wearing, high coverage, just bomb.com. Can't recommend enough. Love it, and it's super affordable as well. Next up, we have the Hourglass Vanish Stick Foundation. Oh my god, guys. I thought this was the most overpriced piece of junk ever until I wore it on my face. And I fell in love. This is one of the best foundations, and I've honestly had it for a year and a half, and I'm not even halfway through it. It is incredible, long lasting, one of the best foundations I think for the price. Absolutely amazing. One of the most highly anticipated foundations and one of the most slammed foundations in history, I think. It's the Tarte Shape Tape foundation. This is the double duty one. It's like for oilier skin. I actually really enjoyed it. I had a first impressions on it, and I'm putting it back in my collection because it's only a new one. I am going to be keeping my MAC Studio Fix Fluid Foundation. I've had this for years and years and years. I bought this particular bottle about 3 months ago, so that is going back into my collection. This is the most confusing foundation for me. Well, actually I have another one that I want to talk about in a minute. This is the YSL All Hours foundation. I have hemmed and hawed over throwing this out a few times. Kept it because it was like €48 and I'm not willing to give up on it yet. It makes my skin look a bit grey, so I have to mix in kind of a more warmer foundation with it. But I'm still willing to work hard on this one, even though I know I should be probably throwing it out. The It CC cream, I've only a little bit of this left, so I'm going to keep it and use it up. Really love this foundation. It's quite light and, well, it's actually CC cream. It's quite light on the skin, but it has a good bit of coverage. Another drugstore foundation, this is the Dermacol. Don't really like it, never really liked it. It needs to go. This is a super confusing foundation for me. It was the Professional makeup. Never understood it. It's like water with a tinge of colour in it, and it did nothing to my skin. It didn't even show up. I never understood it, so it's going in the bin. I've thrown this foundation out twice, guys, and I have another bottle now in my possession because I repurchased it because I watched somebody else reviewing it, saying that they loved it, and I was like, why does this not work on my skin? The Born This Way from Too Faced. This foundation just never looked nice on my skin, and everybody seems to love it. I don't know why it doesn't work for me, but I'm throwing it out and I'm not buying it again. This is another foundation just like the YSL All Hours that I can't seem to part with. I often say I'm going to throw it out, and then I change my mind at the last minute to see can I get it to work again. But I think I need to give this Fenty Beauty foundation to somebody else. My sister might benefit from it or like it, because I need to get rid of it. I don't really wear this Hello Flawless foundation. I did kind of like it. It's like lightweight on the skin, but I haven't worn it in the longest time, so if I do a declutter again and it's still here, I think it'll go, but for now I'm going to keep it. How exciting, guys. I decluttered so many foundations right now, so all we have is our high end and our affordable, and now I need to go through my concealers and primers and everything and try and downsize them. The first concealers I have are these Pro Conceals from LA Girl, and as you can see I have so many. The light ones are the creamy beige, and then the deep one I think is bronze something or other. I used it for cream contouring. It's one of my favourite cream contours, so I'm going to put these all back into my collection because they're not even open, some of them. I just absolutely love that concealer. I have the PS concealer from Penny's. They don't make this anymore, so it could be here a while. I'm going to throw it out in the bin. Obviously I'm going to be keeping my Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define concealers. Absolutely love these. I have C5 and C7, best concealers ever. They are so comparable to the Tarte Shape Tape, and I highly recommend them. I have a lot of the Born This Way concealers, so I'm going to keep the two shades on the end because I think they're the ones that I wear the most, and the dark shade is too light to cream contour with, and then the very fair shade is too fair for me, so I'm going to keep fair, and I think that's light beige. Is that light beige? No, light medium. Oh my god, can't read. So I'm going to keep those two shades. For an affordable foundation, this is a winner chicken dinner for me. This is the True Match from L'Oreal. I'm going to keep one shade because it's full. The other one is actually empty, so I'm binning that. Started to wear the Urban Decay Naked Skin a lot more lately, so this concealer is definitely staying. I only repurchased it there like 2 weeks ago. These are three concealers I'm getting rid of. The PS concealer, this is an Elizabeth Arden Touche Éclat kind of like play on it, and then the Elizabeth Arden, I think I can't remember the name of that concealer, but I'm getting rid of the three of them because they have been in my collection longer than I even care to tell you guys. This concealer I am keeping, the Born This Way multi-purpose concealers. I have two shades here. I have Sand and Mocha. They're both too dark for me right now because obviously it's winter time, so I need to get a lighter shade. If any of you guys have any recommendations for a good light shade, let me know. So they are definitely going to go into my collection for the first time. Next up is the Essence Camouflage Concealer. If I could throw this out, I would, but I need to keep it for an end of the year video. This is one of the most disappointing concealers ever. Don't even waste your €2 on it. It's so bad. I'm going to be keeping my Inglot Under Eye Concealer. There's a little bit left in this, so I'm going to try and use it up. It's a brilliant concealer. I love it. Super full coverage. Brightens up underneath my eyes amazingly. The Lasting Perfection Concealer from Collection has to go back into my collection because it's just bomb.com. And I actually have like 3 bottles on backup in my home house, so I need to bring them over here as well because it's just super good. Again, another concealer with a tiny bit left in it is the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer in Custard. So I'm going to just keep this and use it up. It's a great concealer, very brightening, doesn't crease on me. Next concealer I will be keeping is My Perfect Colour from Penny's. I love this concealer and there's a good bit left in it. It's really inexpensive and it's quite a good concealer. Keeping my Tarte Shape Tape. There's barely anything left in this, so I need to top it up. I'm in medium, I think light medium, so I need to actually get another one of these because it is one of my all-time favourite concealers. This one's going in the bin. W7 Skin Fresh Concealer. Terrible concealer. Just did nothing for me, so bye bye. And this is another one I'm going to declutter as well. This is the Fix and Focus from Makeup Revolution. This is before they brought out their Conceal and Define. Concealer formula was just really bad. The Boing, hello, what has happened here? I don't even have that long, but it's all separated, so that has to go in the bin. And the Wet n Wild concealers, I will be keeping these. I absolutely love these concealers and they're quite good quality and really inexpensive. Colourpop No Filter concealer, I'll be keeping these. I don't know why that's kind of like separated really weird because I actually haven't used it in like 2 weeks, so maybe it's just like gone really cold or something. I'm not really sure. It needed a good mixing. So next up we have the Wet n Wild Come Correct concealer. I will be throwing this in the bin because this concealer was out like a few years ago and they don't really make it anymore, so I don't really want to be using something on my face that is old. I'm using the Physicians Formula CC Super. I'm not really sure exactly what this was. Was it like a CC cream or a concealer? But it's a long time in my collection, so that needs to go also. The Elizabeth Arden Cream Compact Concealer, that will be also going, as well as the Match Perfection Rimmel Concealer, which I've had for ages. That needs to go in the bin too. The Morphe, I just don't need to talk about this concealer. We know I don't like it. Gone. And then this Fit Me from Maybelline. Love the concealer, but it's there a long time and it's separated and gone weird. So it's going in the bin also. So finally I want to move on to primers. This is the Essence Prime Studio. This is the charcoal one. I absolutely love this. It's a mattifying primer. I've gone through one and then Essence saw a video that I was saying that I loved it and they sent me out 2 more, so I'm so appreciative of that. Thank you so much, Essence, and I just absolutely love this primer. This next primer is the L'Oreal Infallible Mattifying Base. I was recommended to get this by a subscriber and I never looked back. It's amazing, so that's going straight back into my collection. I have this L'Oreal, I don't know what this is, this Pop Primer Studio. It's been there for a long time. It needs to go. One of the worst primers I've ever tried in my whole entire life. This is from Gosh. It balled up on my skin. I don't even think you can get Gosh in Ireland anymore, so it needs to go in the bin. It's probably been in there way too long. An absolutely brilliant primer. This is the Elizabeth Arden Visible Difference primer and it was so good, but there's only a tiny bit left in the bottom and I feel like I've had this longer than I should, so I need to get rid of it. There's nothing left in this. This is the L'Oreal Lumi Magique. I don't know why I'm keeping an empty container in there. One of my favourite primers. Don't think you can get it anymore, sadly, so that is going in the bin. And the Stila One Step Correct. That is just a fantastic primer and I need to use it more, so it's reminded me to get it out a little bit more often and I'm going to put it right back into my collection. I will be keeping the Essence Fresh and Fit Awake primer. I only got this during the summer and fell in love. I brought this all around Vietnam and China with me. It was one of the best primers ever and I've bought like 2 bottles of it since. It's incredible, so that's going into my collection. The Max Factor Face Finity primer. Can't really remember if I like this or not, so I'm going to keep it for a little bit to remind me to use it, to see do I like it, and if I do I'll report back to you guys. This is the W7 Prime Magic. Absolutely brilliant primer, but I've had it for too long and there's only a little bit left in it, so I'm going to bin it because it's just probably gone off now at this stage. And then the Model's Own primer. I don't know whether I like this or not either, so I'm going to put that into my collection too and try and use it and see what I think of it, and if I enjoy it then great, and if not I'll get rid of it. I just have a new Too Faced Hangover RX primer I want to add into my collection. I absolutely love this and it smells like coconuts and it just keeps my oils at bay. This is a really nice refreshing primer. I love the Fenty Beauty primer, even though I'm not a big fan of obviously the foundation. I think the primer is quite nice and it gives your skin kind of like a healthy glow. The LA Girl Pro Prep foundation, or primer rather, I don't know whether I liked this or not. I think I use it in a one brand tutorial, so I'm going to keep it and try it again. And then my MAC strobe cream, have to keep this. I go through bottles of this stuff. It's just amazing. So that's going back in. I only have a tiny bit left of the Rimmel Lasting Finish primer, so I'm going to try and use this up because I just kind of want to get rid of it. And it's not like really old where I just bin it straight away, so I'll just use that up. I'm pretty happy with the way I have downsized my collection and actually decluttered a lot of my foundations. I think this looks so much better, and I'm really happy with the way my collection is looking now. It's not as overwhelming. I feel like I'm going to use more of the foundations, primers and concealers, and not like buy as many and use up what I already have. So guys, thank you so much for watching this declutter. Tell me what you would like me to declutter next and I will do that. I really enjoyed doing this, and it actually really feels good on my soul that I've lightened my load. So thank you so much guys. I will chat to you all in my next video.